just not even attempting to stop. Oh, they did stop. Just way too far forward. I mean, like, legally, you're supposed to do this, and then, like, and then you have to scooch forward, and then look through the intersection, and then proceed. It's like, I want to strike a balance, but...
Well, I think for, like, groups of 10, we'll probably full stop, all 10 of us. Because that's manageable, and we want to teach a small group of that size good traffic skills. We want it to be an educational experience also. And the rules of the road are the rules of the road for cars just like they are for bikes. So for larger groups, we'll have to coordinate plugs. If we're gonna blow stop signs, we're going to have to coordinate plugs to do it safely. Yeah. Because it's unreasonable for a group of 20 or 30 to all have to stop at an intersection. But we will still, see, that's where the education comes in, is at the beginning of the ride, you explain, you know, this size group, we won't be able to stop fully at every intersection, but you should know, as a rider, you are required to stop at all stop signs. What we will do, us yellow shirts, we will ensure the intersection is safe and block it for you to pass. Only in those circumstances, you know, I'll figure out how to word it, but...
Got it. All right, we're just gonna go straight. The way I planned the route, it goes through this roundabout, comes out at 18.
I do this all the time. I guess all the group rides used to do that. That's what Jay was saying. Jay Chubb did.
What, did what?
He said they used to send a lot of their group rides. They would come through here like this.
Oh yeah.
There's like one of the safe ways to get over there.
Yeah, that's why I picked this route, because there's the other is Livingston to 18th, and there's like, it's just an unprotected left turn. It's not fun. So
I hate going down here, and then I get on the BHP sometimes for meetings.
Yeah.
And I bike back, and having to cross both lanes of Livingston to get back.
Treacherous.
Exactly, it's not very well designed.
I mean, it's a 35-mile-an-hour road to begin with, but that means people do 40, you know.
Totally. And this is also like the slowest, the longest light cycle I can imagine in Columbus. Like, it is absurd how long you have to wait. And normally when I'm by myself, I just go through this when the intersection's clear. Legally, you should know this, legally in Ohio, state law is that if you suspect that the light is not changing for you, then you're allowed to treat it as a stop sign and proceed with caution. Yeah. So you have to stop at this stoplight, but which is, to me, like a reasonable amount of time is like 10 seconds, because like I think the light cycles are way too long in Columbus, but I also like I wait a moment.
Do you know how to get the lights to change?
The lights? Well, you did. I saw what you did.
There's a couple things. There's the magnets. If it's an intersection that's magnet trigger.
Yep.
And some intersections will actually show you where to put your bike.
Yep.
To trip it.
And you see the little wires, the loops in the ground.
The little bike guy. And then I just learned this one from Trish. Some of the more modern intersections have a motion sensor and light sensor up over the top of the intersection. So especially at dusk or at night, point your little headlight up there, trip it a little quicker. They say that it'll see you at night, but I've had mixed results with that.
It's good to know. I'll have to like first find an example of that, because I haven't personally seen it
while we're out. Because like Trish was telling me about it, and she was like, yeah, like that one. Because we were on a little ride home.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so we're getting ready to take the 18th Street portion. It's paved, but it's kind of chunky.
Yeah.
Very ugly traffic, so we'll probably just do single file until we get across Main. Mind yourself, be safe, call for help if you need it.
Yeah, we'll wait until after this red car, and then take a left.
So just curious, guys, with this using this GPS app, what is considering we're riding online without losing anybody,
Clear.
wouldn't it be easy enough just to share the route ahead of time, give somebody a way to upboard and just leave it at that? And not overlook it?
Yeah, I mean, because my logic is like having the route available is useful for people if they somehow do get lost, or just have the peace of mind that they can kind of like, you know what the length of the ride is, how long it'll take, know what to expect basically. Yeah. But on a moment-to-moment basis, people shouldn't have to really concern themselves about where they're going, because that's our job.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to find a way to do turn-by-turn navigation without any kind of cost to it, just so people can have that additional peace of mind.
I think it's nice, especially depending on how long ride you want to do, to have that information ahead of time. It's super helpful.
Yep. But right now it's, that event page is basically just a list of all the routes, and it doesn't specifically say which route we're doing next.
Far back.
Got it. So we're going about 10 miles an hour right now, which I say is a good speed. Sort of like 8, I feel like is probably what we'll do when it comes to like larger groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're not trying to blast it through. Especially in these.
Thinking, Kyle,
Yeah.
what we might want to come up with, just in case a family shows up with some wee littles, because we are marketing it that way.
Absolutely.
Maybe we have like a shorty ride that we like could potentially do at the beginning if we had to. That would be just for the kids, basically.
Like a little loop, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's still everybody, so they still get the group ride experience with everyone. We don't separate anyone, but we just start with like the little 3/4 of a mile route. Come back to the bike shop, drop the kids and the parents off. And then continue on with the 3 to 4 to 5 mile.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because as you were saying that, I was like, yeah, 8 to 10 miles, but then I was like, oh, kids on 18th Street. Like, this is fine for an adult group for sure. This is a very nice route for tonight. But I would feel weird dragging kids over 18th Street. But there wouldn't be any other way to do it.
What I would recommend is just going up and down the bike boulevard.
There you go.
So that is just up and down Wager, and so we could like go to Livingston and back or something like. Maybe not even Livingston, because that requires crossing the street. So it really depends on.
Just make a turn before Livingston. Basically.
Yeah, basically like here's Livingston Park. Like this is how close it is to the bike shop, and then kind of turn back. And it would take a. That would work, but Whittier, of course, we don't want people to be on Whittier.
We're talking about kids specifically.
So, Kossuth. We could take Kossuth or Deschler. Deschler.
There's one that runs.
Okay, we're taking a left here. I forgot to mention.
I got it. And then another quick right. Yeah, I've been riding Oak Street a lot more lately. Like I knew it was there, but I've been going out of my way to come up Oak.
Yeah, it's nice. It has some like.
I mean, I love riding Bride. Like, oh, hey, that was.
Riding.
Get some shirts made for that.
Riding.
Riding.
No, my wife and I made that same joke. It's so funny.
Oh God, what's an easy one to make? It just came out of nowhere.
Get little, I don't know, Biden signs.
Oh, dude, look, it doesn't even show. RideWithGPS doesn't even show my GPS. It doesn't.
It doesn't unless you're recording. It's like you can do recording or you can do show the route, but you can't do both. Now you. Yeah.
So fuddy. We'll figure something out. It's fine. We'll come up with the most elegant and efficient solution. It's gonna change the world.
So we are going right on Oak Street.
Yeah.
And then immediately left on the next intersection. Closest thing you can get to stopping. Actually stopping. Okay, left onto Hoffman Avenue, yeah, right there. Watch out, this guy's flying. No, I'm just catching. I'm just waiting for everybody to catch up.
It kind of looked like the slow signal. You'd be like,
Oh, no, no.
like, what? What's happening?
No, my slow signal is just like this, I guess. And then we're taking a right on Madison.
That's
Yeah.
the right turn.
I,
Slow is down low. Like,
well, yeah, this, I use this for stop and this for slow, sorry. But I know that.
That could be confusing.
I typically avoid using it because I just prefer using signals like
you do
for turning.
know that this is like actually right. Like in like
I know.
You're okay. Sorry.
I guess I don't really understand why it's sort of, I think that's the reason is because when you're driving a car and you don't have turn signals.
Yeah, you can't
So
point out the right window.
that is true. I can't remember the last time I saw somebody using hand signals when they're driving, but
Yeah, I know. Very rarely. Yeah.
so I do mix it up a little bit because I just like using. But I guess in principle, so
We
this
just gotta get you in a. It could be a webinar. We gotta just get you in a room to get you more familiarized. Because I know you're so thirsty to do this ride thing. And
Yeah.
I feel like you want to be a good leader. Just gotta
Yeah.
get you some information. We just gotta get you some of the processes, and you know, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Oh.
We don't. It doesn't have to be a $500 LCI class. Between me and Michelle and Trish. Actually, now that I just say that out loud, I just need to have a group ride.
Here.
You and me and Michelle and Trish.
Yeah, that'd be
Do
great.
a group ride together. Because that, I mean, that's like, what is that one? I mean, it's got to be over, with my minuscule amount contributed, like over 20 years of ride leading knowledge. You know, Trish is so good. She knows so much, and she's been doing this stuff for so long.
Yeah,
It
she
blows
knows
my
a lot.
mind. Like, some of the work that she does, and for free.
I'm glad you guys were doing it.
Totally. Well, she's focused on like actually making legislative change at the state level,
Yeah.
which is like kind of above what I'm interested in doing at the moment, just because I see how much is needed at the local level. She's like a step above that. And that's where a lot of change is needed. Like,
Well, she does a lot locally too, just not like in legal terms. She leads tons of rides. She's very active in the Columbus Outdoor Pursuits group. She teaches group ride classes. I mean, she does more than the legislative stuff.
yeah, I'm not even aware of all that.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you gotta pick Trish's brain for like just like 30 minutes. She does so much. And like, did she tell you any of the like? I don't even know how to describe it. The like, like she finds all this crash data and gets it imported into Google Maps.
Yes,
In
she
this
has
way,
shown me
like-
that. I've utilized it a few times.
Oh my god, dude! I'm really.
And it's a manual process.
Clear.
Yep, clear. It's a very manual process. I do actually use that crash database though, because every single crash, it's not like the day after, but it's like guaranteed like a week or two after, they have the police report
Yeah.
there. You just need to know how to find it, which is mostly like Columbus Police Department. And then just, you can look at like, and you can sort by like the severity of the crash and things like that. So I've used that for my
cue sheet, and I feel like maybe we missed our turn on Madison.
This is Madison.
Right here?
We have been on Madison.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Madison is this east-west. Instead of, I don't recall why. I chose to do this way because I think I just like this route a little bit more than Oak Street, but I don't know. I've never actually rode this down to Franklin Park.
And see, that's another important part. We got to make sure we ride these routes before. Like, this is great. This is a nice little scout crew here.
Yes.
But yeah, we want to make sure we just get that cool.
For the most part,
It's kind of a cool route. Like, look at that tree. This tree is dope, man.
That's a nice tree. It's a willow.
Yard, like,
No, yeah, it's like I've rode segments. Like, for instance, I recall riding this part of Madison Avenue, not that far back, but like this part right here, because it's closer to the park.
yeah.
So like, I kind of have enough intuitive knowledge of the city's layout, especially in these areas that are closer, just because I happen to live real close to the shop.
Yeah.
That like, it's more difficult to plan a route downtown, but these narrow residential streets, like I just know the best route.
Yep.
So, and it doesn't really rely on knowing where the infrastructure is. Like, we will be utilizing the infrastructure to go back south, the Ohio Avenue bike lane. And for instance, it would be good to like let people know about the door zone because that's right against the door zone. So typically I hang out actually like kind of on the line, and I'm very, you know, I keep an eye out for cars being on, like they have the lights on or. Okay, so we're gonna take an immediate left into that driveway and then go through. We have to wait for it to clear out though. Wait, just wait. Just keep track standing. You got this. 20 more seconds. All right, take a left and then immediate right.
Almost lost that one.
I found that I just gravitate towards just rolling very slowly forwards rather than trying to stay in one place. Though a proper track stand does require that you're not actually moving forwards. All right. There we go. Left here. Watch out for geese. It's mating season.
This is where the cue sheet gets a little confusing because these don't have names. So it's just like, turn right.
Yeah. It just requires, like, this isn't a named street.
Yeah.
I think it might have.
This is great though, by the way. I've been on a number of group rides that come through here.
Yeah.
I love the width here, like super safe for everybody.
I think this used to maybe allow cars to go through it, but now it doesn't, except during
They
some
do the
events.
Christmas lights where you can drive through here though?
Am
I making that up?
I'm trying to remember. We did a holiday lights ride last year, and it did go through this, and I don't recall there being, I don't know, there might be like events for that, but I don't think during like.
So, when I tried to see the holiday lights, such a symphony of errors, I decided I was going to film some content for New Year's Eve, where I was going to go out on my bike, and it was like in the teens that night. I was going to go out on my bike, and I was going to go to all the parks that had Christmas lights and film all the lights at night.
Go ahead.
They turn them all off at like 9. Are we turning?
Oh no, I was just wanted to be careful with this this guy here.
Yep.
All right, so here we're simply going to go straight and then turn a right onto. Doesn't have a name, but basically at the where you see where it starts to turn. Actually, where is it? Oh, that's that street right there. Marion? What is that?
Oh, the purple.
Morrison. Yes, yes, yes. Here it is. So there's like this little brick
Oh yeah,
path right here.
I remember this.
It's obscured. It's kind of hard to see. And just want to be careful with the bricks because these are actually like cobbles and they have gaps in them. So don't.
Oh, boo. Morrison
goes.
is brick. I always hate it when these things take you down a brick road. Even when they're nice, I'm like, is this the only choice?
I like brick.
I like brick in a funny way, like in a, do you know what a tweed ride is?
No.
A tweed ride, I think Columbus has a tweed ride. It's where you wear your like, your tweed knickers and your best blouse and you tie a handkerchief around your neck and you put your cat hat on and you ride your fanciest old bike on the tweed ride and everybody looks like
Car
it's
left.
1800s. Yeah. That's when you ride down a brick road, is on the tweed ride.
Well, German Village would be a perfect location
Oh,
for that.
That's what I'm saying, it has to be.
All right, take a right. Going down Oak Street to Ohio.
Whoa!
Okay, you can't just park there. That's how easily things can become dangerous. Like that person just decided to stop
Yep.
right in the way.
So our next turn, that left on Ohio?
Yes, so we'll be on this for a while.
Alright.
And I wanted to go this way because it goes past the East Market. I try to choose landmarks and nice places to show off because, you know, it's really easy to miss some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you live close by. I know we got room. But yeah, I like brick more than I dislike it simply because it slows cars down. And the bumpiness of it is manageable. It's kind of a skill thing.
Did Noah say something? I thought you were responding to what Noah said. What did you say, Noah?
I said we had a little bit of spacing out.
Oh, okay. I heard Noah say that, and then you said, yeah,
Oh.
and I thought you were
Oh,
adding to what Noah said.
I missed
I'm
that,
waiting,
yeah.
like listening to you to hear where it ties in.
No,
Like,
no.
wait, what's going on?
Literally just ignored Noah, just started
Yeah.
talking.
Kind of parked, kind of not really.
All right, we'll wait for this black car. I always I would have proceeded through that intersection if it was just me, but like,
Yeah.
I want to give basically enough time for not just me, but like as many people behind me as possible. Ideally everybody. And that would be also a good situation to plug, I think. When you have like
Oh yeah, totally.
not every intersection has the sort of amount of traffic to need plugging. Especially when you're going uphill too. Like it's just like it's on a case-by-case basis.
I think traffic light intersections we will stop at, period.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That just seeing the flasher up here made me think of it. Flasher might be a little different, but like an honest 3-light cycle, probably stop at those universally.
I almost like to turn stopping at stop signs into almost like a game where you try to stop as much as you possibly can without actually putting your foot down, which like genuinely is a stop by all means, but
Oh, is it still there?
Struggle with that. Trying to figure out what it is. Figure out like the exact same issue.
Oh my god. chasing this sound on Noah's bike for about 50 miles now. Noah went with me on the Eclipse Day.
Oh,
We did a ride up to, and that's when it started. It was during that ride. And so that ride was about 40-ish miles, and you know, he's ridden some more, and we just
So
could not
greeting.
find this creek. And I hate it when my bike you hear how quiet my bike is. Like,
yeah. It's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's like inefficient if it's making noise. If my brakes are rubbing a teeny tiny, that's typically the biggest cause of it. And normally if I just tap the brakes, it'll go away, and then eventually it'll rub off, so it's not too much of a problem for
You
me.
sound like you're still dealing with some contamination. Is that what it is? Or
I just need new. No, I mean, yes and no. I checked the brake pads here, and you know, this is 500 miles on it, so it's not like they're brand new anymore, but they're thick enough that it's not a concern. But if I were to replace the brake pads, it would likely go away. But there's always going to be a little bit of contamination with disc brakes, just because it's like it just naturally happens, I guess. Rim brakes, I feel like most of the contamination's on the rim, and then you simply wipe the rim off and it's good.
Yeah.
The material for brake pads is like a little bit more like, all right, going straight and then left to the next intersection on Ohio. I try to tell people, get in the habit, of course I get distracted, but get in the habit of telling people like one block ahead of time.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then of course I'll use hand gestures, but I want people to anticipate that we're about to turn. So I typically like say it out loud. Whoop. Just wait a moment. You ever parallel park to bicycle? Sounds really difficult.
That's a funny thing. You could do it. It'd have to be a fixed gear.
I need to be a fixie. Hey there. All right, take a left here.
I kind of want to do that now, just ironically. For a little park a fixed gear bike.
It would be kind of funny. I mean, being able to ride backwards is like, what's it called? A fakie, I think?
I don't know.
There's a term for it.
You know, it's the one thing I still have not truly ridden a fixed gear, let alone ridden one well.
I mean,
Still tired.
you go to whip one out. People ride a lot of fixed gears on the Friday rides.
Yeah.
Like a lot of show-offy stuff that people do, which
I
is...
think I probably know a few of those guys.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go straight for a mile and then turn right on Costas Street, which is right before Stanley.
Cool.
I'm not saying this to no, but I would love to figure out a way, if we could, to incorporate some portion of the rides to patron the East Market in one way or another.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
And that could be something that we actually do a stop for this route, because it simply goes right there, and there's room to...
Are we just getting back to bike shop?
Yeah, at this point that's
I might just cut off and go straight down to Caleb's.
absolutely. I mean, that's Brendan right there, so...
All right, it was so nice to ride with you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice
We'll see
meeting
you
you.
soon.
Take care. Later, dude.
yeah, there's definitely appetite for that on this Thursday night ride.
Because, yeah, it doesn't... We can actually get off our bikes. I mean, I think one concern is locks and such. Like, we could have a person on lookout, basically, like myself, just to make sure that that's not a concern, because I don't expect people to bring locks with them.
So, I've not patronized Columbus Brewing yet, but do we know what the patio boundaries are? Because it seems like if there was a group going, you could have a fair number of the riders stay outside with the bikes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if everybody can drink next to their bike.
Yeah, so we should
what,
look for outdoor spaces.
Okay. Yeah, then, I mean, that's probably going to be a guarantee, because it's dinner time for me and I'm not eating dinner. So, yeah, I mean, tonight it's not working out, but I think generally speaking, we're going to be stopping places at the end of the ride or halfway through or whatever.
I just feel like East market is so important for it to hang out in this neighborhood, and and I think it's hanging on by a thread.
It is, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed when I walked through there. I mean,
have you been on the second floor?
I know, honestly, but
it's really expensive. I like it a lot, but it's like not something I gravitate towards a lot.
right. Yeah, right. Well, you guys are. Oh, there it goes.
I feel like it's the old Seinfeld where Jerry's visiting the Pakistani. You gotta cook Pakistani food at the Pakistani restaurant. Come on, Apu, we gotta go.
So you guys lead for now.
Can you believe he just turned 70?
No, I keep trying to wrap my head around it.
Mind blowing.
I mean, he was like 40. I guess 40 adds up. 40 when Seinfeld came out.
So was he in the mid-30s, and that was 30 years ago. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's just so iconic and so timeless. You don't really think of him as aging.
I know.
You know, and he certainly doesn't look as though he's.
I think he's got a kid who's like 12.
I worked with a dude at Trader Joe's who was 74 and he had an 18-year-old. Yeah. So I mean, same kind of thing.
It can happen. No.
Some of them old dudes got some serious games.
Yeah.
And Eric, especially considering that I have a pretty nice mirror, at least for this bike.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the idea of being in the far back and sort of kind of being, what's the term? Sweep. Yeah, I'll have to look up more responsibilities. But like calling out cars behind and stuff like that, even on.
And you know, another thing that I want to get eventually are some walkie-talkies for the crew.
Yeah.
So like if you were sweeping and it was a route you came up with, like you could even, you know, to the rest of the crew, like fucking left on Fulton, guys, you know, you could stay tuned in with all that if you wanted.
I think it very much depends on the size of the group.
I like the walkie-talkies. I'm very pro that.
It's more fun, if anything.
So I've actually wanted to figure this out with my wife, where we would like be able to just be in basically a phone call with each other and talk to each other.
Yeah.
The problem is there's like a delay with like using like say like a phone call or Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
So I normally veer a little right here, but then when it gets back to the lane, I merge back.
So something we could do.
We could deviate from the route here.
Go right and go back through Children's.
Yes, let's do that.
Rather than just take the bike lane?
What do you want to do?
I don't know. The bike lane is less traffic. I feel like once you get across.
Let's just follow the route, but that is like, because that's what we did last time, Eric, is we did go back that way, and I do prefer that personally. I don't know, I feel like I like to make like a proper loop where it doesn't go over the same place twice, but that's always an option.
Fair.
I love driving by this church.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is a really pretty landmark.
All truth comes out.
Yeah.
No, that's a very worthwhile, like, I love a good landmark.
I'm gonna move this cone real quick, just a moment.
Damn you.
Why is it here?
Stealing all my fun, and you have to stop to do it? I was gonna pick it up in motion.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Try it. I should have guessed that you would have wanted to do something funny with it. And where are you gonna move it? Gonna do a bottle flip? Oh my gosh. It's yours now. Well, now I know how that cone ended up on the bike lane in the first place.
It's funny, it says wet floor. It's not even a traffic cone.
Yeah, who knows how that ended up there. It's so funny with things like that, because people just assume that it's there for a legitimate reason.
It'll stay there indefinitely.
Yeah. Oftentimes it's not.
So is this a goal of your riding, just not putting your feet down?
I do that sometimes. I've never really got like a proper definition of what is considered a stop, because like you don't actually have to put your foot down to stop, but it's like I don't think anybody's really given it that much thought. But it is a problem because like people think they're stopping when they're like kind of just slowing down. And there. Hi there.
Hey, Nut, y'all be careful now.
Yeah.
A couple of bevies would have been nice for the ride.
Always worth bringing. Did you hear about there's this thing called the Dora, which is like designated refreshment area, like all of downtown. Yeah, I love that, because it's like, okay, so when I was in Germany especially, like people would just drink out in public, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're responsible.
Yep.
And like just having a blanket ban on drinking just causes people to end up just drinking from paper bags, which looks so much worse than just a person with just a container.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's a good middle ground where it's sort of like restricted. I'd be curious to see like how much it's enforced, because I don't know, but I think you're only allowed to drink beverages that you buy from a specific place.
That's easier said than done, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather just bring my own, drinks myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's kind of like the gray market weed, you know?
Yeah.
Once you got it, you're there, whatever.
Car back.
Yeah, car back.
Headlights anyway. I can't hear it. I can see it.
That was a van. It turned right.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we're turning right here on Kossuth.
Where are they opening? Where's the area gonna be?
Basically the entire downtown district, including like the new part of Franklinton, where like the like from the land grant, you know where land grant is in Franklinton? It's like from there all the way east to, I don't know exactly the boundaries, but it's like all the business district.
Oh, the Franklinton business district, or
From like west, the west boundary is like Franklinton, the east boundary is like the business district, something like the Capitol or maybe farther east. But once it starts to just turn into a bunch of parking lots and stuff in downtown, that's kind of where it ends.
That's what I'm saying. I just can't imagine that.
At least goes to like 4th and 3rd, which is where there's a few bars and stuff. So Eric, I kind of have like been playing a little bit more with using proper video editing software with GoPro footage. And I've been recording this ride, for instance.
Yeah.
Ideally, I'd like to have a process where I could record the rides and then blur faces sort of automatically.
Sure.
So that it's sort of like still respecting people's privacy.
Yeah.
But useful, in case the worst happens, but also just for like, you could post it on your YouTube.
Oh, like if I needed like,
you could use it for promotion.
Can I get that footage? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And what I intend to do is just like share the footage freely. Like I have no interest in.
Oh, thanks for the offer, by the way. I already pay for that myself.
Oh, you do? It's so helpful.
For me, it's $50 a year because it's also the insurance for the GoPro. So they'll replace it if I smash it or whatever. Supposedly, I hear it's notoriously hard to get them to actually. Hey.
Hi, kitty.
Dylan.
I think that's fine. I know those people who live right there, and it might be their cat. They have a few outdoor kitties that they took care of. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting if we had like a quick summary of like the traffic laws in Columbus versus like, especially like, because for instance, riding on the sidewalk is actually legal in Ohio, but
Yeah.
it's specifically like not allowed in Columbus. But then if you're in Bexley, I think it's actually allowed. So it's kind of weird and wishy-washy. But like, my point is people should know you shouldn't ride on sidewalks. You're supposed to stop at stop signs. I might explain it as like a little bit of a game where you try to go like stop as much as you can without.
I'm not even a porch package.
Yeah.
I'll move that.
No.
I often do actually. Is I'll actually move people's packages just.
I wouldn't, dude. You might get shot one of these days. Somebody will think you're not moving it.
Oh,
Do we have to go back to the shop? I don't
Not
think
necessarily.
I need anything out of the shop.
I was gonna ride just back home.
Okay. And then you're which way? Okay, so you are still going that way.
No, not really. I would have kept going down Ohio.
That's the full route. What is the total? 5.4 miles. 5.7 if we made it all the way to the shop-ish. So, you know, that's a really good like sort of basic route that most people could do.
Yeah.
It has a few hills,
doesn't
but
get anyone lost either.
yeah, totally. And I try to minimize the amount of turns and such because that.
There's no hills whatsoever.
Yeah, it was really good for that.
Mhm.
All right, so what are we doing then?
I'm gonna head home. I need to figure out the routes to see why it didn't add those that I added.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Because for me, I see them. It's so
Yeah.
so. It probably just has to do with it probably has to do with privacy. I probably have to make them public routes.
That sounds like something. Yeah.
Okay, so that'll probably be easy to fix. But yeah, what I was thinking with I'll map out like a really short like kiddie route, maybe a few kiddie routes that are like less than a mile. And there's something that's just a real short loop that people could just, you know, ride with the kids, and then we could break off and do a proper like longer ride. All right, well I'm gonna turn right here.
All right, dude.
You want to come with?
Yeah, I'm going this way too, actually.
All right, see ya.
Later, dude. Yeah, because I'll just go back through Children's. Like I always do.
That route was a lot less complicated than the
That was-
park one.
That was
Yeah.
that. If they can all be kind of like that, like there was relatively just a loop. All the intersections were pretty manageable. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that was a much more palatable ride.